Renato, this wasn't exactly a slam dunk case from the beginning in comparison to the other cases that are still lingering out there in the balance right now for former President Trump. So what kind of overall comparison does this hold versus those, and when are those also set to commence and kick off?
Great question. I mean, I think if you were the client and I was the lawyer, we would have gotten a hung jury or a misdemeanor in this case. I think it's fair to say that this case was winnable for the defense, but they really pursued a very poor strategy. And I think it'll be interesting to see if they repeat that similar, very Trumpian strategy in the subsequent cases. Regarding the strength of the other cases, the documents case, the Mar-a-Lago case, is incredibly strong. There's really no defense there for Trump that's viable. However, the judge is very favorable to Trump and has delayed the case indefinitely at this point. It is not even scheduled for trial right now. So that is essentially a gift to Trump and his team. The January 6th case in D.C. is also stronger than this case, much more capable prosecutors as well. I would be concerned if I was in Trump's team about that case. But the Supreme Court still is considering its decision, that consideration by the Supreme Court is delaying that trial. It's still possible that occurs before the election, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Renato, when we talk about what's next, how do you see this? Do you see this at all just in terms of how this is going to impact his campaigning, his ability to do so? It doesn't sound like he will be facing any restrictions as a result of this.
Right. If there's any restriction, it'll be quite limited, some period of house arrest. But as we saw in the 2020 campaign, when both candidates were doing a lot of campaigning over Zoom, it's certainly in this media age, you don't really need to be traveling around all the time in order to conduct an effective campaign. I will say that, as a practical matter, regardless of the restrictions, the fact is that Donald Trump is a convicted felon 34 times over. And that does presumably matter. I mean, I will say for my clients, having that label does matter for them when they're dealing with other people. I can't imagine it doesn't impact the way that voters may perceive the former president.
Renato Mariotti, always great to get your insight. Thanks so much for joining us here today, former federal prosecutor. Thanks, Renato.
Thank you.